Believe it or not, the Puppet Master, the game update finally came out. The demonic toys are now finally live in the game. Now, when I did my initial video of Puppet Master, the game is dead, I received quite a lot of criticism from the Puppet Master community, as well as the developers, because I felt like they were prioritizing certain things over trying to improve their game. And as it's been well documented, it took them a month longer than promised to put out the Demonic Toys update, which is very similar to kind of what, not exactly, but when the Totem update was supposed to come out, it was delayed as well. But with the Demonic Toys, they announced it for December, and it was the second week of January, and it came out. But it came out, right? This is the message from the developers. Hi, everyone. Sorry for the long wait. The Demonic Toys needed some time to cook, and we did not let that extra time go to waste. This is the largest update that the game has received to date, and we are immensely proud of what we have achieved with this update. Now, before I go further, every developer always, when they put out an update and they make the announcement of the update, always says that it's the biggest update to date, and it's usually more fluff than it is truthfully honesty. When it comes to this game, it's more fluff than it is really honesty. It's about the same amount of content that was introduced in the in the Totem update. Pretty much the exact same amount of content. But, you know, developers like to put a spin on things because they need to make it sound like they've added. It's about the same amount that they normally have added per game updates is what I'm getting at. Okay, so bringing Demonic Toys into Puppet Master the game was one of our biggest dreams when the game first started, all the way back in 2012 as a fan project. Now that we finally brought these two Full Moon franchises together officially for the first time to duke it out. Watching the Full Moon Zone video zone back in the mid-90s, most of my viewers probably don't even know what that is, but at the end of videotapes for Puppet Master movies, Demonic Toys, there's a Charles Band video series that he did where he talked about stuff he wanted to do with the Full Moon Features films. So hearing Charles Band talk about the idea of Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys got so hyped that it had to be part of the game. We are very honored to help make that happen in video game form. I hope all of you enjoy your hard work and attention to detail that comes with this update. I have some thoughts about the attention to detail, but I'll get to that when we actually open the game. There is much more to come. Our focus moving forward will be to create new maps, human characters, and quality of life changes, like full controller support and optimization improvements so we can finally leave early access. Thank you all so much for your patient support. We will be posting news about what to expect in the content update next week, so stay tuned. All right. I butted heads with October games quite a lot over the last couple of weeks, because I felt like if you make an announcement about putting something out in December, you should follow that up. And if you run into an issue, you should announce it very early in December, as opposed to letting a whole month go by practically before you say, hey, it's going to be delayed by like a month and 2 weeks. But you know what? We'll give them that one, and we butted heads. I think some of my message might have gotten through to the developers, because I said, I feel like it's too soon to try to be selling people on cosmetics in the game and DLC packs, when the major focus should be trying to improve the base version of the game and what's currently there so that you could bring in more players. So, them fixing controller support because it's terrible, yeah, I think that's important. Optimization improvements so that the game runs proper, looks better. Yeah, I think that's very important too. And then quality of life changes. Yeah, because there's certain things that puppets work better. And then I've always said there's a shotgun stun lock thing that probably needs to be addressed with this game, because there's some very cheap human tactics you can use. And adding new maps to the game and more human characters, adding new things to the game is very, very important. Because I have no problem with them trying to make $1. What I took a problem with is that there's so many issues with the base game and a very low player count, and you're asking for money on cosmetics when there should be more focus on making the base game worth wanting to come back, making a base game where you can actually use the cosmetics that you buy in all the modes usable is like the major focus. You want, for an online multiplayer game, people to be playing it online. And to be honest with you, as I've always said, because tell me when I'm telling lies, the biggest problem with Puppet Master of the game has been a very lackluster player base, because This is a very niche game. If you ask most regular gamers who maybe are casual fans of horror, but not hardcore horror fans, do you know who the Puppet Master franchise is? They're probably going to tell you a different type of game. And they probably don't even know. If you ask them who the demonic toys are, they're probably not going to know unless you're a hardcore horror fan. So you already have the hurdle of trying to get people who aren't familiar with these franchises to play this game. And that's a tough sell of just being like, hey, this game's out, you should play it. Oh, by the way, there's a whole bunch of DLC that we're trying to sell you, but you can't really play modes. That's where I took problem with it, because you have to improve your actual core game and make people want to play this game online, and if not, give an alternative to be able to play these modes offline, to then give people a reason to buy DLC. I bought DLC for this game. Contrary to popular belief, I have bought DLC for Puppet Master, the game, because I did believe in it in the very beginning. I've been following it for a very long time. But after one or two DLCs, when you start seeing less content of the base game, not having maps, not having new factions, things not coming on time, do you really want to keep investing money into something that looks like it's not going to be around, and the only way you're going to be able to play something is in 2 launch journals? No. I needed to give these developers a kick in the pants and a wake-up call that some of the things they're doing and some of the ways that they were going in terms of their game trending was not the right way to get people or to restore faith in people who play this game to start playing the game again. Hopefully, this part here that they're saying, they live up to it, and this is the focus. And then after you leave early access, and then start selling cosmetics again. When you get this part fixed, and there's more of a player base, then start trying to get your bag with some of these DLCs. Until then, I feel like this is your major priority. Everything else shouldn't be. That's my 2 cents with that. Definitely loading much quicker than it used to. Because as some of you know, it used to take forever for this game to load, like if you were playing it off of an external SD hard drive. So, let's take a look at this, right? I'm even going to plug in my controller in a minute. So, we had the new faction, the demonic toys. So you have Baby Oopsie, Grizzly Teddy, Mr. Static, Zombie Toad, Shack Attack, and Monster Teddy. I was a little bit confused about this being the Dominator. We'll talk a little bit more about why. These two are almost basically the same character, just him in a different form. Alright, so we got Baby Oopsie. Baby Oopsie looks very, very close to his Doll Man versus Demonic Toys skin. I think it's kind of cool. He has various different weapons. So he has his you-know-what knife, because I'm going to say so I can't talk about that. He has the Master's Medallion, where he basically has a passive where he can not only reveal nearby prey, but he can heal the other choice. So he's kind of a damager and a healer as well, which I think is kind of cool. He has a Miss Me, which basically it allows you to kind of like dodge and become invulnerable to ragdoll for a while, which I think is cool. And his last attack is his gun, where you shoot the gun, it shoots one shot, it causes damage and causes the human or enemy to get a knockback. I think they did a very good job with Baby Oopsie. As for his skins, you have regular Baby Oopsie, you have Burned Baby Oopsie, which is his Demonic Toys 2 type of skin, sort of, even though he was kind of stitched up in that one, if I remember correctly as well. You have the Baby Oopsie with blood, because every skin has like the blood version. And then this one, which is interesting because this is just basically outfit from the Dollman poster, but they never actually used this outfit in the movie. They went with this outfit instead. The voice of Baby Oopsie, pretty cool. Pretty cool. They did a pretty good job of imitating his voice from it. From, I would say, Dollman versus Demonic Toys, because Baby Oopsie's more female in the other movies that it's featured in. The knives, it's basically the same that you normally would find. The medallion, you can't upgrade, right? Okay, let's move on. So, next character, Grizzly Teddy. Grizzly Teddy is actually deceptively strong. I thought he was weak at first, and then I had more playtime with him. I thought he was pretty good. So Grizzly Teddy is a bloodthirsty demon-infested plush, a cuddle teddy bear turned man-eater, someone inside the toys. Okay. So he has claws and teeth, so scratch and bite your prey by using your primary and secondary attacks to deal minor damage. Each attack with Teddy gives you a moderate amount of health. And there are perks that you could use to modify the damage he does, as well as get a little bit more health back. Second one, Toy Bat. You basically use a bat, you swing it to do moderate damage. It causes a stun that slows down the prey for a brief moment. Pretty good when you're fighting like puppets. Kind of decent when you're fighting cubans. Last one, Bear Trap. This is really cool. Even though I never used this in a movie to my knowledge, Bear Trap, hold the ability button to deploy a bear trap. Upon trigger, your prey is rooted for 1.75 seconds and takes 15 damage. Basically, you freeze them in place and it takes damage for a set amount of time. Well, he takes damage, but the set amount of time that he's stuck in place 1.75 seconds. Pretty good, because if you're a bunch of demonic toys bunched up, you can basically take out the prey of the human quickly. He is very good. I would argue Grizzly Teddy might be S tier at the moment. He's deceptively good. As for skins, Bloody, which I think honestly Bloody looks better than his base form, just because he likes to bite people anyway. He looks kind of bloody mostly in the movies. Nightmare, this is like a unique skin. It's very expensive. I don't know how I feel about it. It kind of looks cool, but the Grizzly Teddy has never looked like this in any of the movies. I prefer having skins that actually kind of fit one of the movies he's been featured in. I feel like that way for everything in regards to Puppet Master of the game. Alright, moving on. We have Mr. Static. Now, fun fact, Mr. Static with his blasters kind of was too much. So much so that I actually talked to the devs in their Discord forum and mentioned that the flashing lights was a bit much. It kind of made you feel a little bit sick, and if you are prone to epilepsy, you probably would get seizures from it. They graciously did listen to my feedback here, and they toned it down, so now when you use them, you won't get headaches, and people who are prone to epilepsy won't hopefully get a seizure, which I think is great. Because the first day, he was a headache and a nightmare to use, because like I literally felt sick. I'm not prone to epilepsy, but too many flashing lights, I was just getting a headache trying to use them. So Mr. Static is a menacing robot with powerful blasters for arms. You won't want to find yourself in the path of his cold stare. Are we having fun yet? He has 3 weapons. Blaster shoots out a burst of 5 lasers splat, each capable of dealing 5 damage. So here's the thing that really made you feel sick with this before. Every time he shot one of those blasts, there'd be a flashing light. And he shoots 5 of these in concession. So it's 5 flashing lights going off and off and off again, which is just too much. They toned it down so you don't have to worry about that. His second thing is static boost, so you press the ability button to increase Mr. Static's forward movement speed for 10 seconds. Because he can't dash. So this makes you go fast on his treads. His last one is static missile. So you shoot a missile that causes significant knockback and reveals any within its blast radius for 10 seconds. Great for when you're playing multiplayer, not as useful when you're playing single player. I'm not going to show you too many of the skins here. Bloody Mr. Static. Then you have Burned Mr. Static, which he never actually existed to my knowledge in any of the movies or lore, so I guess they're kind of playing a pun on if he had been featured in Demonic Toys 2. Chrome version, which looks very similar to Static, but I think kind of has some purposes. I don't remember him looking like this in any of the movies. He's usually always look like that. And Gold Mr. Static, because I guess it just kind of looks cool. I like Burned Mr. Static. It's kind of a nice what if. Overall, the rest of them, I mean, Mr. Static's never really been changed based on the base design in any of the movies. He's only been featured in 2 movies on top of that for Demonic Toys. Zombie Toy only ever featured 1 movie. It is in Dollman vs. Demonic Toys. So, a demonic soldier action figure loyal to the master in the Demonic Toys. Your bullets are, you know what? It takes magic to fight magic. So, his weapon, he has a machete, close range melee weapon, dealing moderate damage with a lunging charge attack that damages foes in its path. I like his melee, his lunge. I didn't personally find them that amazing. His second weapon is a battle rifle. So it's a semi-automatic toy rifle equipped with a long-range, accurate laser sight, delivered moderate damage with each shot to the prey. Laser sight's kind of cool. He never had this actually in the movies because he only really was in 1 movie and used the machete. So they took some creative liberties there, but it kind of makes sense because he's supposed to be a knockoff G.I. Joe soldier anyway. Next up, we have Battle Roll, which is his ability. You press the ability button to perform a battle roll, avoiding attacks for 1.5 seconds, with 0.5 seconds of ragdoll avoidance. He's pretty cool. Obviously, as you can see, he suffers from health, but he's very strong. He can be stealthy, which is kind of more important when you're dealing with humans. He's pretty fast. He's a glass cannon, though, for all intents and purposes. Pretty cool. Again, for his skins, he was only featured in one movie, so what can you really do with him, right? So what they did was the Blade version. Everything has a bloody version in this game. That's just kind of like an extra skin that they give to every character. I mean, it's nice to have. I feel like the blood effects should look a little bit better on all the models, but that's just me. Maybe you like it like that. I don't know. I preferred the blood not to look that way and look a little bit more believable. Then from there, we have Dogface, which I believe this is just supposed to be a parody of a movie called Small Soldiers with Chip Hazard. I'm fine with that. It's kind of a funny little throwback reference to that. I mean, considering he was only featured in one movie, don't have a lot to work with anyway. Yeah, why not, right? It's a running joke in their Discord, if I remember correctly. Alright. Moving on from there, we have good old Jack Attack, who just had a standalone movie, which was... it was a movie to say, really. So, Jack Attack is a demonic toy, jack-in-the-box with a flesh-eating grin. Beware the twisted jingle or face a nightmarish demise. Jesus Christ, they tore him apart. Got a lot of health. He's got a lot of agility when he's not in the box. Speed-wise, Strength, somewhere in the middle. Stealth. He's basically the equivalent of Pinhead and the equivalent of... Who was the tanky character with the totems? I would say it would have to be Totem Warrior. He's basically the equivalent of those two for the demonic toy. He has 4 different things. So he has out of the box. Slow your prey down by continuously biting them. Each hit does minor damage and stun. Then there is in the box, Jack hides to charge a powerful attack. Deals critical damage to ragdolling enemies. Ideal for ambushes, but slows them significantly. Yeah, you'd have to kind of be waiting just somewhere, waiting, camped out, and if they walk by or near you, you kind of pop out of the Jack in the box. Trying to run around with the box itself to get a position to use its attack is very difficult, and I find that it's hard in many situations kind of pull off this ambush effectively, but that's just me. I feel like this kind of needs to be reworked still, even though they buffed the speed of the box. It just feels not practical in most game situations and various different modes. Psychotic is his passive. Demonic energy empowers Jack, shielding him from being knocked out by pushes and kicks, which is kind of cool, because he's kind of like Pinhead in that retrospect, as well as King Sutek in a way. Alright, or King Totem as he's called. Next up, we have Sliver. Press the ability free button to lie on your belly and sliver at a alarming speed, ideal for setting up your next ambush or scouting. This is good because it makes up for the box thing, so you sliver like a snake only when you're out of box, and you move quick so you can get some pretty good positioning all around. As for his skins, this is where I'm very confused. So he does have a Demonic Toys 2 type of look to him, and yet it's not in here, which leads me to believe perhaps maybe it's going to be part of paid DLC. But I would have preferred to have his Demonic 2 counterpart, similar to Baby Oopsie, instead of this Creative Liberty Blackjack skin that we have here instead. I would have even preferred that we had the Demonic Toys 2 Jack Attack version over this, which is just how he looks, which is basically a hair change and an eye change in the Dollman versus Demonic Toys poster. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm hoping this is not a case of we're going to sub this as paid DLC. I'm thinking that might be the case, but I feel like if you started, and I'll go back here before we get to him, if you started by introducing Baby Oopsie's burn version, which is featured in Demonic Toys 2, as well as I believe it was featured in the Baby Oopsies movies, why not feature Burn Demonic Toy 2 version of Jack Attack? I feel like if you did it for Baby Oopsie, there's no reason why Jack Attack, who's a major part of Demonic Toys 2, that he doesn't have a skin equivalent to that. It's baffling. Maybe they didn't have enough time to do it. I'm confused. But a very iffy skin. So that brings us to the Dominator, which is weird. It is Monster Teddy. So Monster Teddy is the ultimate demonic toy, instills terror with door shredding sounds. Every creak and crack has the power to destroy doors. So, claws and teeth, scratch and bite your prey by using your primary and secondary attacks to deal minor damage. Each attack will give Teddy a moderate amount of health. Then we have Feral Fury, drastically increase Were Teddy's forward movement speed by 5 seconds. I think they were supposed to call this Were Teddy, and they kind of made a mistake and just went with Monster Teddy. But yeah, these names, this is typographical error. Bear Barrage, unleash a powerful melee attack that swiftly overcomes anything in your way. Use this, I guess, on the doors, which I did try out. Matted Fur, it's his passive. Monster Teddy's fur coat shields him from pushes, kicks, and throwable weapons. It's great. Now, as you notice, Monster Teddy is human size. He actually is human size, so he can't burst through doors. And in order to get through the totem doors in Toulon's journal, he has to use his power to break it down with the 2 hands and then kind of claw. I didn't know that because I didn't read the description, to be honest with you. I pointed it out. I thought maybe you could get soft locked on the forums. They pointed out to me that use this power to destroy doors, and then you can go through Toulon's journal that way. There's also why in Toulon's journal they move certain Raven statues about. Honestly, I thought the Dominator was going to be Devo Leto, because Devo Leto resurrects the demonic toys of Jack Attack and Baby Oopsie, and kind of has some necromancer type like powers. And I thought he was going to be the healer class, but instead Baby Oopsie is, so they decided to go full on Demonic Toys 1 reference. It feels a little bit out of place in this game because when you get into fights with puppets and totems in particular, trying to aim a claw and teeth attack at something that's, 3 inches high and moves around a lot kind of gets annoying for accuracy, particularly in the new mode. Against humans, you kind of curb stomp the humans super quickly, which I don't know if he could stay that powerful for that long. Obviously, in online matches, you could put so that Dominators don't come out to the very, very end after a certain amount of time. So there's some balancing with that, along with cooldown. But I don't know, Chief. I get why they did it, because they wanted to go full-on Demonic Toys 1 with the reference, but he makes for some very awkward moments. As you can see, with this mode, you're going to need 8 people, which is a very tall order for a game that's per place is not the best. So let's see. How many people are online? Just out of curiosity. Well, there's more. There's full lobbies. This is a positive sign. 4-4, 4-4, 4-4, or 8-8. 8-8. This one's always, I don't count this person's always doing it. So let's see, like, actual people who I've never heard of here. 4-4, but they're playing FIFA mode. 4-4, they're playing FIFA mode. 8-8 bots. So, can you fill a full lobby of bots? I wonder. Let's see, let's put this to the test. Can I want to lock this for a second. Okay. Let's put that as a lobby. I want to test something in theory here. Can I just start a match with a bot? Can I, like, do that? Is it going to be 1v1? That's what I want to know. Or is it going to populate this with 3 puppet bots and 3 puppet bots? I want to know. What's it going to do? Is it just going to be 1 human and 1... Let's see. I'm curious. Let's just put this to fair crafting a minute, please. So, am I just gonna have the human out? To me, it looks like it's going to be just a human and no demonic toys, right? I don't see any demonic toys, Wolfies, coming to attack me. So you can play this mode as if it was like Thief mode. What's the point then? Let me see. I don't hear... Oh, there's a human. I've yet to see any toys whatsoever come to my aid. And this looks like this is the regular bot that normally you see when you're playing like Two-Launch Journal. So they've kind of tweaked the bot so he's not as like OP at trying to keep the game going too long, right? Alright. Let's see here. Triple combo, he's dead. So I have not been attacked by a demonic toy at all here. So, you can start the match as a 1v1 and have drop off. But, let me see here. No, it's just against the human bot and there's no demonic toys, so why would I want to do that? There's some lobbies in the East Coast, but they're full, right? Or there's one spot here, but it's not the mode I want. I want the mode where I can play Puppet Wars, right? I run into issue of either I gotta host that and play a 1v1 situation with a human bot, or case in here, when you go to look in our servers, so nobody playing in the West Coast because the majority of the players only play in the East Coast. So, we have the issue still of there's like 17 people playing the game, and you can't play any other modes truly offline, where let's say I could go my one puppet versus the 4 demonic toys and like 3 or AI puppets. Like that seems like the next logical progression for the game. So then what do we do in this case, Wolfies? Well, what's the only mode where I can like try out my cosmetics then if let's say I can't get a lobby online to play this game? Like I want to play a demonic toys match. My only option is I have to go into Two-Launch Journal and do the single player mode. And now I'm going to show you something. The single player mode, when you don't know what you're doing, yeah, you can get a lot of hours out of this. But let's say you're a seasoned veteran at Two-Launch Journals like I am, right? I know where all the locations of these things are, even when they changed them. And I also know pretty much what my perks are going to be when I'm using a demonic toy, because I kind of know already what meta I'm going to use based on the perks. Now, I'll say with the perks, like, there aren't that many perks to work with, which I understand because they're trying to rush this update out, because they didn't want more criticism, which it's fine because, hey, they got it out, but, like, case in point, look how I just knocked them back, and this is the AI bot, right? So he's going to try to ragdoll me, which is fine. I know he's going to ragdoll me, right? So then he's going to turn around. Here I come. He's going to not really put up much of an effort. Let me get this. Let's swing this way. I can execute him. Now, this is not going to be the faint of heart for everyone, but this is his execution. Alright. So he has the big gun, right? He vomits, cool. That's very similar to what Baby Oopsie would do in the movies. But then, okay. So again, I'm a seasoned veteran. I can speedrun this mode, as you're seeing, in progress, even with the new toy content. So, I'm gonna go here. They changed this. This used to be under the bed, but because of Monster Ted, he can't run under the bed, they had to change certain Raven statue placement. So, where's the next Raven statue for the first floor? Well, that's easy, Wolfies. It's gonna be right here. We're gonna open this door up, right? If I have the gun, I could shoot, but I don't want to waste a bullet, because I want to save that for when we go in. We gotta fight the totem, right? So we're gonna go in and fight here. We're gonna cut through the vent, get the health item. We're not really gonna need the health serum too much. He's gonna be the not very say-so toy. Alright. I'll just swing once. Break the pyramid. There's one more Raven statue on this map. And I could use this just to get a little bit of a speed boost. Even though that's not what it's intended for, it's mostly supposed to be for, like, evasion and to prevent being ragdoll. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna cut. I've finished the stage, basically. So then, I'm just gonna run back here, right? So you can't go this way. You gotta run this way. I'm just using that for mobility because it's got a very fast cooldown, which is good, because we could just get a little bit more. And I just use it to kind of, for speed's sake. So then you're gonna run all the way back here, right? And I don't know if any of my wolfies were timing me, but I essentially just speed ran Toulon's Journal. So let's say you're me, and in that situation, you don't want to play Thief mode. All the lobbies that are available, which isn't a whole bunch of them to begin with, are filled with the Puppet Wars mode. What do? The only option for me to actually play this game is this mode, which I've done to death, which I kid you not. I'll do Rick's because it's another good map. I can speedrun these with my eyes closed. That's the biggest problem right now with Puppet Mastery the game. There's not a lot of players. You don't have access to all the modes off of line. We don't have, which is the most important progression for this game, just to kind of get it on a good footing where it can be, you know, bring players in. We need puppets, toys, totem bots to be able to do Puppet War with bots, and then have like drop in and drop out. Because I'm going to show you this again, Wolfies. Mr. Static is probably the best demonic toy to speedrun certain content with now, too. He's not the fastest, but he is very strong with the beam, so... I'm playing on controller, too, by the way, which is not the best optimal support. Okay. And they changed it. As you can see with the flashing lights, if they kept it the way where it was like a really big flash, you would have potentially had seizures, right? So... And keep in mind, my criticisms are not to be mean. They're, like, legitimate constructive criticism as to what the October Games necessarily needs to do to be able to turn this game around. Because, yeah, you need to up the player count, but before you up the player count, you have to be able to give people a reason to actually be able to play the game, to be able to buy the content. Okay, so we got rid of him. He's done. So, we'll go through here. You still gotta take the human out. Keep that in mind. Human should be... Check this door. I don't think it's this one. I think it's around the corner. Yep, it's around the corner. This door here is potentially going to be the next Raven statue, if I remember correctly. Surprised we haven't found the human. Is he behind the door? That would explain a lot, right? Okay. Nope, not this door. So... Where was it again? There's one in there, but I'm going to wait on that. I haven't found the human yet. That door over there could potentially mean he's there. Right. I'm not gonna use the ability just yet. We're gonna shoot here, right? Okay, cool. So... Let me charge this up. Nobody around, huh? Okay. In that case, we're gonna go through the double doors. Is he here? No. Okay, so behind here, all the way on the opposite end is going to be the next Raven statue, right? So we're gonna time it just right. Let's shoot. Okay, good. That's the last Raven statue, or one of the last ones. The next one's going to be hidden in a barrel-like area. I'm very surprised we haven't run into the human just yet. Well, speak of the devil. This character is so freaking good. Like, I'd have to say, of the demonic toys right now, Mr. Static is definitely my favorite. I mean, I'm a big Baby Uzi fan, but Mr. Static just has a very satisfying gameplay loop that's really, truly unique for this game, because you don't have something that really plays with this type of play style. Alright. So he was over here. We have to go back to Rick's lab. Not mistaken. Rick's lab is over that way, which means we have to go through this door and around to get the last Raven statue, and then we'll pretty much have completed. Which I want to go through here. the map. This is not going to be the easiest thing to do here, Wolfies. Don't mind. It's in this basket up here. Let's keep going. He's a little bit slow without the treadmill, but that's fine. We shoot there. We're going to go back all the way over here. This isn't as fast of a speed run because Mr. Static, obviously, is not as mobile as some of the other demonic toys, but still pretty quickly you can do it with. So we're back in here, and we ran that, right? And that is pretty much another 2-launch journal run. So again, this is just me citing things. You can do these once you've memorized them rather fast and rather efficiently, to the point where then you kind of can just run them and XP farm, right? And then let's say you get bored with that mode because you've done that quite a lot. Well, here's again, Manhunt. I don't want to play that mode because I'm more interested in the brand new mode. You see the problem? Co-op. Thief mode, thief mode. This seems to be the more interesting mode for players. They prefer to play this mode as opposed to the new mode. And then there's some people who prefer to play 2 humans before. I'm in a situation where I don't want to play this. I don't want to play this. I don't want to play this. I'm going to make a lobby who's realistically going to join. This is where we have the problem of not enough players playing. There's 8 people playing here. There's 3 people playing here, that's 10. 1 person playing here, 1 person playing here, 12. Count me, that's 13. And all our things don't align with what we necessarily want to do. This is where, again, which is where this game needs to go, where in these different modes, such as Puppet Wars, we need more than just a human bot. We need to be able to have teams that are totem bots, toy bots, puppet bots, depending on the situation. We got the update, we got a new mode, we got some cosmetics. They didn't try to sell us anything, which I think is nice for a change, because as you see, there's very few reasons to make those purchases unless you really, really enjoy 2-launch journal. But let's hope that they keep the major promise of their announcement here. This is where it's going to make or break the future of Puppet Master. Right now, to bring in new players, we need new maps. We need new human characters. We need quality of life changes, which to me would be bots in every mode and the ability to play every mode, not only online, but offline as well. Full controller support, so we can actually use those emotes is important, as it's mentioned here. Optimization improvements. Graphically, I feel like the game does need a little bit of a graphic overhaul to just make certain maps look not so washed out. And just that. If October games can kind of focus on this stuff and realize that this is an important thing and stick to the timelines that they promised, well, you can maybe turn this game around. Is the game still dead? In terms of content, no. In terms of online, yes. I'm sorry. I still got to look at it. 2 more lobbies to play with. 17 players still roughly that's playing the game means that the same 17 people who have been playing the game are still playing it. Has this update brought in new players? No. Will this change in a week when some people figure it out that this is out? Like with my video or other people's videos? Time will tell. We'll have to relook at the Steam charts. But I'm not going to say that this game isn't still on life support, because it is.